So what I've got here right now is some material I pulled out of my stash. I was sorting through some stuff today, trying to figure out what I was going to use for stuffing and what I wanted to use for a project. And since it is mid-October, I immediately saw this and thought, candy corn. Obviously because of these stripes, even though I don't like candy corn. So I'm going to try and make something out of it. I'm not sure what just yet. I was kind of thinking maybe a little pouch for some of my tapestry and darning needles. They're very thick and a little heavier than standard sharps, but they're easy to lose because mine are all metal. So I was thinking something like that with maybe like a flap. So I was thinking maybe like this. Make this into a lining. Curve this edge, I think. And the black, I don't know what I'm going to do with the black. I think I'm kind of thinking of like just ruffling the edge. I'm going to do this rounded. It's just a fun experiment all around. So I'm going to go iron these out. I'll be right back. Yay! We're back. So I got them all nice and pretty looking. They look a lot better now. And I'm just going to dive on in. There's not going to be any batting or anything on the inside. Just because, again, it's the end of my day. I'm kind of pulling this on my butt because I can. I don't really know why I do the things I do half the time. So let me think. Okay, no, new plan. I just cleaned up my sewing machine, so I'm not even going to do this on my machine. I'm going to do this all by hand. Just because I don't want to get my machine back out. If you should know anything about me, it's that I'm a sucker for proper machine maintenance because I don't want my machine to die. I've got this one that I've used since I was a kid. It was a Christmas present for my parents. And she still works great. Okay, hang on. I think I'm going to base stitch these two pieces together. And then shape these. No. Okay, no. I think I got it. I'm going to base these sides together so I can fold them inside out. Now you cut this here and shape it. That way, I can fold it inside out from down here because straight edges are easier to finish than a curved edge when you turn inside out. Okay, that's what we're gonna go. That's what we're gonna do. Yes. I'm sorry, I'm the most indecisive person in the world. I take forever to make up my mind. All right, I'm gonna go thread my needle. I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back. And while I was at it, I decided to go ahead and pin it into place. That way it won't slide on me. Aha. Okay, let's get started. Since I'm just basting it right now, using a base stitch, decided to just knot the end and anchor it really good. Maybe get tangled. It would not be an impromptu sewing project if we'd not tangle a little bit. So I'm basically just gonna make a whole running stitch and anchor it every so often by doing a back stitch. Pulling these out as I go. Okay, I know it looks a little short on the seam allowance. I'm kind of regretting not marking a larger one, but that's okay. This is one of those kind of things where you don't really need to have it, you just kind of want it for yourself. Which is what happens to me a lot. I see many things I just want to make because I can, not necessarily because I need them. Sometimes not even because I want to, I just really want to have it. I want to, well, I'm contradicting myself. I want to prove that I can make it. It's kind of like it's a challenge. My brain is sometimes Goku from Dragon Ball Z. All you anime fans out there, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, we're coming up on the end, so I'm actually going to stop right about here so I can curve these edges. And I'm not even going to worry about finishing this part right here. Alright, so that should cure it for the inside out. Alright, get needles here. Ah, I just noticed my needle's curved. I don't think you can see it in the camera, but it's curved a little bit. Dang it. All right, that means I'll have to change it out later, but not for this one. I'm just going to finish this project. Kind of want to show you guys how I do this. Well, crap, I did just a minute ago. No, I don't need a threader. I just can't do anything on camera. There we go. Oh, sorry about that. Okay, I'm going to give myself a generous amount here. Yeah, this thread, in case you can't tell, is very, very old. I think it came from my original stash years ago when I was, I want to say 10. My mother gave me her old sewing kit from when she was younger. And her mother gave it to her. I still have the basket somewhere in storage. I was never going to get rid of it. But after a while, I had to clean out some of my old stuff. All right, there we go. Now, other side. As always, we start from the corner. And we're just going to do a running stitch all the way across. Move slowly, carefully, and backstitch every so often. So what a backstitch is essentially just like this. Running an extra stitch in the opposite direction. So let me see if I can't show you on the back. See those right there? Those are from back stitches. For all my non-sewing friends out there, it just basically gives it an extra security. And when you're doing a running stitch like this, it keeps your line from bunching up on, it keeps your seam from bunching up on you. You wouldn't want to use a back stitch if you're gathering something to make ruffles or pleats. And I think I'm actually going to show you that on this project too. Well, hang on. You know what? There, easy peasy. Sorry, I had to take off my cardigan. I'm starting to get a little hot in here. Which is a nice change of pace just because of how cold it's been in the state lately. Okay, almost done. So what I'm going to do here is use my stripes right here to help me gauge when I should end this one too. Okay, and unlike the other seam I made, I'm going to go ahead and anchor this one. That way both edges are not falling apart on me. Which for a small project isn't too bad, it's very easy to fix. But it's still a good discipline to have when you move on to bigger projects. Since I'm making this on the fly, I'm just going to fold it in half like that. I should be getting out my tailor's chalk or my markers, but really I don't want to because again, it's the end of the day. I don't know why I'm doing this to myself. So we're just going to fold it in half. Toss that aside. There we go. Now let me get my needle back out. Knot it real fast. And we will finish this side right here and turn it inside out. Okay, so I'm going to anchor this. There we go. I find on some things, especially when you're laying the groundwork, it's best not to make them too tight. You want to be as loosey-goosey as possible. Okay. That and that curved edges like these can be just as tricky as anything else. When you cut on a curved edge, fabric tends to have more give. I can't talk and work at the same time, in case you couldn't notice. In case you didn't notice. All right, almost done. Whoop. There we go. Just gonna anchor this off really good. Really well. You can already hear the grammar police trying to catch up to me. No, I didn't know what I said. I'm trying to concentrate. All right, there we go. That side. Inside out. And behold, you have a kitten for a mitten. Wait, what words just came out of my mouth? All right, behold. Now we have a little rectangle with a curved edge. All right, now my next decision is, do I want to press this? But do I want to? I'm lazy right now. This is why I didn't even take out my machine. I didn't even bother to measure this one. You know what? I'm not going to press it. I'm just going to finish this one right here. Oh, hang on a sec. Dang it, dang it, dang it, dang it, dang it. Hang on. I'm going to pin this in place where I step aside real fast. Okay, pause. I'll be right back. Okay, and we're back. So, I've gone ahead and anchored that thread. And I'm just going to close this up. Da, 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 da. I guess I was hoping Indiana Jones would make me go a little faster. I'm eyeing the clock here and it's already been almost 45 minutes. I never realized how loud that clock was until I sat here really quietly. I usually have something on that I'm watching or listening to as I go. I think it drives my younger brother crazy. He's right down the hall. Because I'll basically listen to the same thing over and over again. Mainly because if I've heard it, I can follow along and I don't have to stop and stare. There we go. Wunderbar. Now we're going to tuck our thread. Put that down, get our scissors. And Bob's your uncle on that. Originally I played around with the idea of making this into like little sheath. Because I've got a couple of these different things. But I realize it's not big enough. Okay, so I have one little snap left. So we're going to use that and just use a crap load of thread. Alright, so before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and prepare my ruffle. Let me get this out of the way. No, come back. In the interest of saving time, I'm going to get one of the best inventions made right behind sliced bread and Betty White. Peking shears. Look how clean it looks. I'm a little too happy about that. I just realized. Alright. We're just going to fold this here. Got my long nails on me right now, so I'm just going to crease it nice and tight. And that should do the trick for like an hour project. Pause. I just realized something. When I thought about doing a ruffle, I was thinking about inserting it in here, in this seam, but the seam is already closed. So I can't insert it unless I take out the stitching. I did not think this through. Okay, so after much deliberation, I've decided I'm just going to go with it and figure something out. So what I've done here, I forgot to hit record on this one, is I folded this inside out so that these raw edges would be showing. And I'm going to do another running stitch here to create the gather effect, which is what I'm going to show you here shortly. But since I'm not using exact measurements, I'm going to need this for my frame of reference, so I can see how much I need to gather. All right, see how that ruffle is coming? See, that would have been so much easier if I just put that on the inside. Okay, you know what? We're not going to dwell on it. It will be okay. I'm a big advocate for winging it, at least on small projects like this where nothing's on the line. Well, come to me. There we go. Sometimes that's a problem with black thread. You think you grabbed it and you did. That's why my dad used to harp on me about turning the lights on when I was working. Oh wait, hang on. Dang it, I did not. Hang on. I think I did. Okay, let me solve this crisis first real fast. There we go. Alright, let me shorten this give right here. That's not a term, by the way. That's just something I like to say to myself when I have too much thread. So, I'm gonna give it a little extra right about there. And then before we close it up, let's turn this bad boy inside out. Okay. And yeah, I think I can match that pretty nicely on the sides. And we will tuck, pull it out, and finish. All right, and now we have a cute little ruffle. So I'm back. Yeah, about 5 minutes later, one little brother later, and 3 stabbing injuries later, I'm back, and I forgot to show you guys this work that I was doing. So here's my plan of attack for attaching the ruffle. I went ahead and I did in black just a basic crisscross all the way around here, because I can use invisible seam. I can basically stitch it to the inside lining without showing on the outside. Now for this part though, I am going to show on the outside because I want this ruffle secure since I did not put it in the seam. So I'm going to turn that around. And we're basically just going to do a very fancy and glorified back stitch on this side, and being very careful not to poke ourselves again, because I have stabbed myself so many times on these needles. Sorry, I just got done with talking to my younger brother. I love my brother, but he's 21, and he's basically our family cat at this point. You know, he wants attention, and he's mad we don't give it to him. I gotta get that clubhouse up and running. For those of you who don't know, I'm looking into trying to figure out ways to fund like a little sewist/crafters clubhouse here in town. Basically just a place where like-minded crafters and artisans can come together and hang out if they want to, or just want like a place outside of their house to work because you have annoying little brothers, whom I love very much. I'm just saying it would be helpful. But that is a different project for a different day. Okay, so I realized it might be easier if I just switch gears and switch sides. You know, so I can use my dominant hand. And if I got a shorter needle, because that actually seems to work a lot better. Sometimes you can't learn something important until you're in the thick of it. Oh yeah, this is much easier. Alright, let me check. Yeah. Take that one out already. It opens. Yep, another interruption. Another hissing match. Quite literally. I gotta get that clubhouse up and running. Okay, so I'm coming up on the end here. There we go. One thing I've noticed, I need to practice working with the camera. I need to practice positioning it so that I can sit comfortably without moving it around so you can see what I'm doing. Alright, now look on the back. Oh, we got a little knot, that's okay. But yeah, even though it's kind of crude and it's all done by hand, this ruffle's not going anywhere anytime soon, which is what I want. One thing I did notice though is that I did not position that ruffle correctly. It's a little crooked in case you couldn't tell. This is what happens when 21-year-olds come in to bother you and get your attention because they think they're cats. These kind of mistakes used to drive me nuts until I realized I can just well, see, and yeah, see, this pattern's crooked too. It should be laying straight. Of course, now I can't tell if it's because the ruffle is crooked or because the pattern is crooked. I think it's both. I'm looking at it right now. I think it's both. I think it's both the ruffle is crooked and I did not position. I didn't cut the pattern so that it was straight. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's just for me. It's just for my stash. It doesn't matter. I can make a new one. It's fine. It's fine. Okay, so I made a decision. I'm going to go ahead and use the ladder stitch to create an invisible seam. There we go. But, in case you can't really see it very well, I've gone ahead and doubled the thread too. That way it's nice and strong. So first I'm going to finish anchoring the bottom, especially the corners. We're going to make these itty bitty stitches. We're going to make them so small an ant cannot squeeze their way through. So I'm the kind of person where I typically get music playing in my head for no apparent reason. I don't think it's just me. I think I looked it up one time. That's actually a pretty common phenomenon. Sometimes it's like having my own jukebox, and sometimes it's a song I can't turn off, an earworm. And it pisses me off to know it. But right now, the one I've got in my head in background, I guess is background noises. This is how much of a nerd I am. One of the opening songs to My Hero Academia. Very specifically, Merry Go Round. The one everyone says they hate, but really kind of like it. That one, I can't read the manga now. I'm too far in. They finally finished season 6. And I can't spoil it for myself. I won't, I refuse. Of course, ironically enough, growing up, I never had much access to manga in the first place. It was always just strictly the animes. And because I'm a product of the 2000s, it was, dang it, there we go. It was strictly the English dubs of anime. I don't think I saw my first Japanese sub until I was maybe in high school. There we go. Alright, let's anchor this corner too really well. Make it good and tight. Because one thing I have learned about making bags and little pockets and pouches like these is that the opening will always receive the most wear and tear. So you want the corners to be nice and secure. There we go, and we will tuck that. And finish it off. Alright, looks good. Okay, now switch onto this side. Don't take out the pin just yet. Alright, now let's turn it over so my dominant hand has access. Do it one more time. And just start ladder stitching. So anyway, the only time I think I will read a manga is if there's a series that comes out and I'm just really into it and they have not finished it yet. One title that immediately comes to mind for me is, and I can't say this with a straight face, so I'm just gonna go for it, a series called Toilet Bound Hanako. Because yes, toilet is in the title because I am a 12-year-old. Anyway, there's an anime series adapted from the manga that came out actually right before the pandemic hit, so in early 2020. I didn't discover it until last year. It's only 12 episodes long. And oh my god, I love it so much. I watched it, I think, 10 times over. And it is so good. The opening is a banger. The animation is gorgeous. I love the characters. I love the voice acting so much. Justin Briner is a gem as the title character, and I love him all the more for it. You can tell Deku is having a lot of fun in that role, and it shows. Anyway, I couldn't take it anymore, so I just decided to jump into reading the manga. Let's see. I'm actually all caught up as of now. And I think the series itself is coming close to an end. That's the vibe I get, and there's so much going on. And there is definitely enough content to give this a proper adaptation. Unlike other series, The Promised Neverland, we will not speak of their non-existent season 2. Because I have no words to describe my disappointment in that one. Dang it, I'm sorry. I can't get used to this new camera thing. This new camera, you'll hear me use the word thingy a lot if I show you more of these projects. Whenever I'm in the middle of something and I can't remember the word for it, I'll just say thingy. Ah, no. Alright, it's gonna require a little bit of surgery. Not that one. There we go. Okay, just straighten it out. Alright, now let's go ahead and anchor this really nicely. And then we will tuck. And then finish. Oh, there we go. We can go ahead and take out our pin. Alright, and now we have a little pocket. It's got some little pinpoints in there, but that's okay. We can fix those. Okay, so we're just gonna sew the crap out of these things to keep them from falling apart. Okay, I'm gonna take this real careful. Just go ahead and dig in. There we go. Yeah, I got to figure out how to reposition this camera so I can sit comfortably without depriving you of what I'm doing, which is honestly not too much. I won't say it's nothing. It takes a lot of dexterity in your hands that you can't really teach to someone. All you can do is just learn the basics and then practice, and then practice, and practice, and don't forget practice until you finally figure out how to use your hands. I just want to finish my pouch, Tyler. Stop laughing.
You should know this by now. Okay.
I'm so close.
Just the way you said it. Let me finish my pouch time.
Okay. I love you too. So that was Tyler. My baby brother I was telling you about, the one who thinks he's a cat. He came in again, tell me all about Kingdom Hearts. I'm so sad I ever turned him on to that game. He's gonna find it eventually though. I know that. I know it in my heart. Well, it's my fault. I bought him a Keyblade when he was like... But that was when he was 12. I did that because I wanted to make him happy. Nah, he's okay. Alright, we're gonna finish up this button. Almost done. Ah, no! you hate it when that happens? Alright, hang on. There we go, fudge it. Let's just do this the easy way. And finish it. Okay. Final touch. Be right back. Okay, so part of my stash includes some buttons and notions that I inherited from my grandmother's stash, actually. And this is one of those buttons. I know I can cheat and hot glue it to the front if I want, but you know what? In for a penny, in for a pound. We're already here. Ah, no! Why? It's fine, it's fine. It's fine. And this is why we plan. Oh, hang on, is that nice and tight? Just gonna shake it. I'm gonna hot glue it later. You know what? I'm just gonna hot glue it. There's a time to work with integrity, and then there's a time just to break out the hot glue gun. And we're done. Yay, look at it. It's so cute. Look at our little Halloween themed pouch with our little ruffle. Yep, it was the pattern too. The pattern wasn't like straight. I don't know why I didn't think of this first. Just measure it from the back. Okay, I'm gonna get my tapestry needles. Be right back. Okay. So I went and got my little darning needles and my tapestry needles and my one little plastic needle. I used my crochet, and I'm so excited because they fit so perfectly. Ah, yes. I'm so happy. I don't have to worry about losing them anymore. And then they can fit perfectly here in my tiny little tool bag where I keep all of my extra tools and pens. I carry this pouch around everywhere, especially if I have like crocheting projects I'm working on. I just switch bags with it. Yes, it's the perfect size. I love the little ruffle. I'm actually really pleased how that turned out despite being a little crooked. I love my little button accent too. I think it just gives it something else. It gives it a very vintage feel to it. And I love that it came from my grandma's stash. So she's still helping me. And honestly, aside from a few of the other cosmetic problems, I'm happy with how it turned out. It's definitely serviceable. It'll help me keep track of all my little tools. And if I could go back and redo it, I do think I would do some stuff differently. I would definitely double check with the pattern to make sure that it lines up and that's not wonky. And I mean, it's only a little bit wonky, so it's not too terrible. It's nothing that couldn't be fixed on second viewing before sewing all together. After I measure for the curve, I would definitely do the ruffle first. That way I can insert it and fold it inside out. I would also plan ahead for the fastener. I was kind of making this up on the fly, but since I really do want to stick with a little snap fastener like that, I think I would attach them on the lining side, aka the wrong side first before I put it all together. So yeah, just a couple of things I know I would want to do next time to make it look nicer. I'm going to do it on the machine next time too, because this was done by hand, and I gave myself half an hour when I started at 3:30. It's almost 5:30 now. So all brotherly distractions aside, this took a longer time by hand than it would have by machine. But I'm really happy with how it turned out. It's so cute, and it's perfect for this season. I love my little ruffle. That's still driving me crazy, but it's fine, it's fine. Oh my god. Yay! I love it so much. Okay, now I'm gonna go clean up and then figure out what I'm gonna do next time, so I will see you later. Bye!